Okay, so on page 13 is the summary of those things we just did in the investigation. And so these would be good things to put on that note card for your quiz if you don't already have. This one you probably already have there. So if the vertex is on the circle, the measure is just half of the arc. Okay, that's those inscribed angles. You took the quiz over last class. Pretty much everyone did well on that quiz. And so you guys, I think, have that down pretty well. If the vertex is inside the circle, but not at the center, then it's just the half the sum or the average. Okay, so we add them together, divide by 2. Technically, we could do that if it's on the center also, but it's just a needless step because the center is the same as the arcs and intercepts. And then this is the one also that's new, is half the difference if the vertex is outside the circle. So if you're making yourself a note card or if you're not, just those are the rules you have to know to be able to do this. So down here on problem 1, which of these 3 rules are we going to use? The first one. So if this is 120, what is angle RCS? 60. Easy, right? Okay, how about the next one? Which rule are we going to use?
Inside it, so vertex inside it.
So what do I have to do?
You have the angle measure is half the sum of the measure.
So I just add them together, divide by 2. Can anyone mental math that? 81. All right, what's the rule for problem 3? Half the difference. So here, did they give us?
No.
So what can we do that we know about circles?
Oh, divide by 2.
Yeah. So this is something, anytime they don't give us the measure we want, we know the whole circle is 360. So first we do 360 minus 240, which gives us 120. So now I know that's 240 and 120, and I can do half the difference. So 240 minus 120 divided by 2. What does that come out to? 60. All right. So I would recommend you star that or make sure you know how to do that because you will see that on problems and homework, test, and quiz. All right, and then the bottom here is just to give you the graphics. All 3 different plates, if we're outside the circle, it can be any of these 3. It can look like this where it's tangent lines, both outside the circle. It can look like this where there's a tangent and a secant. It can look like this where there's two secants. And it doesn't matter which way it looks, the rule is still always just half the difference of the arcs. Make sense? All right, so then flip over to the next page. All right, should I ask for volunteers or call on desk numbers?
Volunteers. No. Both.
Both. Okay, I'll take a volunteer for this first one. So it wants me to find measure of angle ABE. What's my rule for ABE related to that 128?
No.
E comes after D.
But
The alphabet.
I know. So the vertex is on the circle, you're right, because B's are vertex.
It's on the circle?
It's on the circle.
Really?
Yeah, so it's just half.
Half of 128. 64.
Yeah, so 64.
So,
Yes, Claire did say it first. All right, what is the measure of arc BC? How am I going to go about finding that?
oh, BC.
So BC now. We're close. So to find arc BC, I don't have this angle measure yet. So I heard some people saying, well, first we find this part and then subtract. So that's the way to do it. So 68, we're going to find this arc, and then we'll end up subtracting from 360. So what's 68 times 2?
170.
So 176, and
I mean, whoa, 136.
136, yeah. And then we're going to subtract from, so 128 plus 136, what does that come out to?
A number.
264. And so if I know this part's 264, I just subtract from 360. So 360 minus 264, which comes out to 96.
Really?
Yes, you were
Okay.
right.
That's not how I did it all.
All right, how did you do it?
Oh, so I knew that, where E is on that little triangle, I knew that was 64, because it's the same as where B is. So I just did 180 minus 64, and then minus the 68. And then I multiplied times 2, because if that gives me where E is, it has to be times 2.
So you did it as if this line continued, that you can use those same lines and figure out, okay, this is also 64, subtract from 180, and then multiply times 2. That works also. Most of these problems, you guys, there's more than one way to find the correct answer. So just use the rules that you know. All right, next one, LKI. So we're talking about this angle right here. LKI. What's my rule? Well, where's that vertex?
That was on the, it's on the circle.
Yeah, so it's on the circle, so it's going to be half the arc, right? What arc did it actually intersect here?
A lot.
But does it go to H or does it go all the way to I? I. So what are we going to have to do?
Add the 50 plus the 188.
Yeah, 188 plus 50, and then divide it by 2.
119.
119. Are we going too fast for anyone?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to pause a second, look and see if you have a question over this, or if you just want me to explain it again. Just this one? Okay. So were you guys with me on the half the arc? Okay. So the rule is, if my it's asking me for LKI. So if the vertex is on the circle, K is on the circle, it's formed by a tangent and a secant, the rule is that it's half of the arc it intercepts. Okay, that's just one of the rules you have to know. You have to learn. So the angle here is half the arc. So that goes back to this one that you did. The rule is wherever that line is, if the vertex is on the circle, this angle here is half of the arc. It doesn't matter where it is, it's always going to be half the arc. And so it's half the arc, and so I just have to say the arc where it actually touches. So this arc, it touches at K, and it goes all the way around and touches again at I. So I have to figure out what that whole arc is and then divide it by 2. And so I took the 188 that they gave me and the 50 that they gave me, added them together, divide by 2, which is the angle for LKI. Does that make sense now?
Yeah.
All right, how about arc IJ? What are we going to do to find that? It's
188 plus 50.
188.
no, it's simpler. Caitlin got it. So we have a 46 right here. Okay, and that's still, the vertex is on the circle. They're asking me for the arc, so I just do 46 times 2. 92. All right, next one, angle RPS. So we're asked to find this interior angle here. What's the rule?
59 plus 201. Divide by 2.
102 plus 50
God.
divided by 2.
Okay, so, all right, so our rule is half the sum. So we got to make sure we know the rule. This time the vertex is inside the circle. The rule is just half the sum. And so that means I add up 59 plus 1, sorry, plus 201 divided by 2,
130.
130. Okay.
Wow.
Do you guys need me to explain that one again?
Yeah. It's half the sum.
So we're learning it today.
Oh.
So we're just taking these 3 rules that we talked about and applying them to different problems. So the rule is half the sum for this one. Next we'll be doing half the difference, but it's just these 3 rules.
So it's okay if I'm confused because we're just like,
As long as you understand why we're applying these.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So those 3 rules, and those are 3 rules that you can put on your note card if you need it.
Wait, can I get like a huge note card?
No, you can get a note card this size.
How many numbers did we get? Is it just one?
Just one. So I recommend you write small and maybe redo it before the test, because then you can like go through and copy out what you really need on it. So write really small and you can probably get everything on it. At least all the basic like theorems and stuff. What's your question?
I have a question on 2.
Mhm.
Why is it 92? Like, it makes no sense. Like, that small little arc is 92.
So things are not always drawn to scale.
But, like, isn't HI already 50?
You're right. It's not drawn to scale. But we have to go by the numbers and it tells us that this. Oh wait. I know, you're right. I made a mistake. What's wrong with that? We got to subtract the 50. Thank you. So 46 times 2 would give me this whole thing. So 92, yeah, so it's 42, equals arc Hij. And so then 42. Yeah. So Geo found the mistake because
Yes, sir.
we have to subtract 92 minus the 50 we already have. Thank you. You guys always, if you find a mistake in my math, always point it out. This is first period. I don't always recognize them. You'd surprise yourself. I bet you can find a mistake sometimes. But we just fixed it for you, so fix it on your notes. Alright, on problem 10. We're asked to find, yeah, DEI. So first of all, where is that vertex? Yeah, so it's on the circle. So that means we're doing just half the intersected arc. Do we have that intersected arc?
No.
No. So what do you think we might do?
Oh, subtract 360.
Okay, so we can subtract 360. What do I need before I can subtract 360? Any ideas? Is this a simple problem? It's definitely one we're going to have to work our way around because we have 56, but I need something more before I can find out what that side and that side are. I have 75 here, but that doesn't actually intersect with either arcs. I have 39 out here. So can anyone see what I could find? This is going to be something where I just start seeing what I can find. So what's something like... Yeah, so I could find HG. Angle F I don't have... Angle F I could find. How could I find angle F? Yeah. So I can start, and like I said, there's usually more than one way to do it. So angle F, because it's a triangle, of EIF, so I do 180 minus the 56 minus 39. What does that give us? What is it? 95? 85 or 95? 85? Okay. So angle F equals 85. You guys with me on that part?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I can find, whether I found that or not, how can I find arc HG?
Well, this one's...
We don't know DEI yet, so that's why I have to start solving for other parts.
We know that one's 75, right?
what do we do? Yeah. So 56 times 2 gives us 112, which is arc HGF. And then I just do minus the 75 I already have to get arc HG. So what does arc HG equal? Okay. Still haven't gotten around to what I need, but okay, so this little arc here is 37 degrees. And so what do you think I should find next now that I have those two, that angle and that arc? So I can find EF. I don't think I have enough information to find EH yet. How would you find EH?
You could, can't you just like double 85?
So doubling 85 would give me EG. And you're right. So I could double 85 and find EG and then subtract the 37. So, so EHG is 85 times 2, which equals 170. Okay, and then I subtract the 37, which is what?
130.
Well, if I'm just trying to find EH. Sorry, guys, what is it? 133. Okay. So I found 133. So what I'm doing on this circle, this is one of those kind of challenging problems, is I'm just trying to find everything, and it'll eventually give me what I need to find. So, and I'm showing you kind of two ways to do most things. And so let's go back. Even if I hadn't found that, I can use the 39 and 37 to find EF. And so 39 and 37 is to find arc EF. Our rule is half the difference because the vertex is behind the circle. And so that's going to be a little complicated one. What did you say? Yeah, so what we'd have to do, so that would be EF plus 37 divided by 2 equals 39. Do you guys want to solve that out, or should we keep going with the other line of reasoning?
What?
Yeah. I know, it's a hard problem. We can't skip it because you're going to have some things like tests and quizzes. Okay. The test is going to be on, well, it's going to be on Scantron. It'll be mostly multiple choice. Okay, so that's one way to go ahead and find EF. What's the other way? I heard someone say it, and I think it's a little easier at this point. Yeah. So we can add up everything we have. So 133 plus 37 plus 75 plus EF equals 360. All right, so when you do the math, what does EF come out to? Can anyone get it faster than me? 115? Yep, so EF equals 115. Well, I could put X there, or I put EF instead of X. We're finding both.
Man, I'm so lost. Is it 360 minus?
And I did write this down wrong. If anyone's trying to solve that, that should be minus, and it will come out to 115 also. Okay, do we have enough information now to find DEI?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it?
A number.
So DEI, our rule is half the arc. Do I have that arc now? So what is half of 133? 66.5. Because we didn't have 133, so we had to find the other ones. We could, yeah, we could have. So we could have, once we found 133, found 66.5 first, and then subtracted for the 115. So
omit this question on the test.
no, it won't look exactly like this. But you guys, if you hit circles that you aren't sure what to find, just start finding what you can and working your way around. There's not a lot of ones that are really challenging like this, but there are definitely some. So just spend your time working your way around them. Mostly. Mostly.
Is it like drawing?
No, I mean it's gonna be either multiple choice or like number answers where you can bubble in your answer.
It's nothing like open-ended.
Yeah, it's going to be all on a Scantron this time. There'll be a matching part for the vocab and labeling, probably.
So we gotta know that.
Okay, so we're asked to find angle WVR. It's geometry. Geometry has a lot of letters here. So, is that something I can start with? You guys have to go down. So I would have to find, I would need WST to be able to just half it. So I'm not going to be able to start with that. So what can I start with?
I mean, you can get WST like the art.
How?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can get it.
So how do we can get it? What do we do first to get it?
You have 81, like the angle that you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
and then the line of shape should be 180, 180 minus 89, which will give you the end,
Mm-hmm.
and then you could double that, and that'll get you.
It would be, except I need it. The rule is that it's half. This isn't in the center or on the angle, so I'm going to have to use. This is my vertex is in the middle, so I'm going to have to use my half the sum formula. Okay, so I can do like Gio said. This is a linear pair, which means this side is 99, and so if I'm plugging 99 into my half the sum formula is, so it's a linear pair, 81.
I did that, but I didn't know where to go from there.
So that's one step. So always do the steps you know how to do. So what am I going to do now with that 99 and the 30? The half the sum formula, like this one, right? So if I don't have what I need, you guys are good at algebra by now. So I just plug in, I need 30 plus the arc WST. So because my two arcs, half the sum of the arcs is divided by 2 equals 99. Okay? So then it's really simple. Solve, multiply by 2. Really simple. 30 plus WST equals, what's 99 times 2? This is 99. You guys, who can explain why is this 99?
Because he said
Because it's a line.
it's on the line, so minus
From U to
180.
W, there's a line. And
Mm-hmm.
divided by the line.
Yeah.
Then what it is.
Yeah, linear pair. Okay, and then we just subtract 30. And that gives me what? So, WST equals 168. What do I do that to find WVR?
Divided by 2.
Divide it by 2, because the vertex is on the line. So what's 168 divided by 2? 84.
So I said it, so.
And then TUW. What do I need to do for that? So now I need to find TUW. So I already know this is 70 and 30. I just need to find VW to find that part.
Oh, it's half.
I could add them together, but I'm going to need to find this. Or is there something I can subtract since I already have WST? Can I just do 360 minus WST? Would that give it to me? Oh, VW? 62. I don't have the answer key, so I don't know without finishing the problem. Okay, so what is 360 minus 198? 192. So VW would have been 92. Okay, so these are going to be the problems here. Lots of people saying this is hard stuff. These would be the problems to come back and work with here. Okay.
I'm not going to be in here for the period.
Why not, man?
So 84 came from 168 divided by 2. 168 divided by 2 is this. Do you want me to explain it again?
It's not. I'm not going to be in here for long. I don't. My teachers have to email you because I have to be in school.
Okay.
So I don't want to do one.
So just ask them to email me. All right, you guys, here's a few simpler ones. So when we see tangent to the circle, what do we know about tangents?
They're straight line.
Straight lines, so we can deal with linear pairs. So the first one's really easy. Measure of angle ABC. Yeah, so measure of ABC, that's just a linear pair, so it's just 180 minus 70 to give us 110. Are you glad there's simple ones in here too?
No.
All right. All right, remember, any complaints, you have to come up with something positive about the class also. Okay. Measure of arc AB. What do we use to find AB?
One, don't you add together divide by 2?
Was I wrong?
So which one do I multiply by 2? 70. How do I... All right, class. How do I know that AB means it's this arc and not this side?
Because it's, what you call?
That would be A.
Because it's AB is a short way.
Yeah, so this would be AEB, which is our next one. So, hey, I should not hear side conversations. So 140 is just the 70 times 2. All right, measure of AEB now is
220.
220. So it's just the
360 minus 140.
Yeah. So it's either 210 times 2 or 360 minus 140. Either way gets you the answer. Is 220. See, there's a lot of simple ones like this, but there's going to be some challenge ones too, where you just have to work all the way around the circle. All right. Do you think this next one's going to be simple or hard? Okay, so first of all, what's our basic rule we're using in this one? Yeah. So half the sum, and this time they gave us the 2 parts to add, so it's just 97 plus 35 divided by 2. What's that give us? It's half the sum. 71?
No, 61.
61? So 61 are these two interior angles. What am I going to do now to solve for 60? Okay. What is it? 66. Okay, so if that's 66, what am I going to do now to solve for x? Which would I equal?
The 5x and the 14.
So 5x was 14.
All equals 360.
So here I'm going to go with the linear pair is going to be the easiest way to do this. So I know this is 66, so 66 plus 5x plus 14 equals 180. And who can solve this faster than me?
I cannot.
Okay, I just got two different answers there, so I'm going to keep working it. What did you guys say x was? Yeah, x equals 20.
Can I get the next one?
Let me finish writing this. Okay, ask your question again.
I thought that the angle is like half of the whole shape.
So angle is half of the arc if the vertex is on the circle. Here the vertexes and the vertexes in the interior of the circle, so our rule is half the sum. So half of the sum of the two intersected arcs. So this, if we plugged it back in, is going to be half the sum of this arc and this arc. I don't have either of those, so I couldn't work it that way. All right, Claire, how would you set up the next one?
I did 4x plus 8 minus 3x plus 2 divided by 2 equals 28.
So our rule is half the difference. Okay. No, that's right. You did it right. Okay, so half the difference of the two arcs. So that means this arc minus this arc. So I have 4x plus 8 minus 3x plus 2 divided by 2 equals 28. Okay, so I'm just plugging it in. And I have an equation to solve. So what's usually the first thing we do in an equation when I have divided by 2? Usually we want to get rid of the 2, so we multiply both sides by 2. So, and then I'm going to, in the same step, distribute this negative. Okay, so if I have negative before parentheses, that means both numbers become negative. So now I have this. What's 28 times 2? 56. Okay. You guys with me on solving that one?
Yeah.
So I multiplied the 28 by 2 to cancel out this 2. I distribute the negative to make minus 3 and minus 2. Okay, see if you can solve it faster than me. Yeah, x equals 50. So x equals 50. What did you do? How did you do it without the 28?
Just add the 4x plus 8 plus 3x plus 2 equals 360.
Yeah, okay, so if it's easier for you, these two arcs do make 360, so we could do 4x plus 8 plus 3x plus 2 equals 360 and solve it that way. So if you don't like that plugging into the equation divide by 2, that's another equation you could do, maybe a little simpler. All right, so that is the end of our notes for today.